Ladies and gentlemen, there is a quiet power in solitude, a strength that whispers, "You are enough." A woman who walks alone is not a figure of loneliness, but one of profound courage. She embraces the silence, knowing it is in solitude that the seeds of greatness are planted. There is a profound difference between solitude and loneliness, a distinction often misunderstood by those who fear the quiet spaces of life. Solitude is not an empty void, it is a sanctuary, a place where strength gathers, where the soul finds its footing, and where the essence of who we are begins to emerge. A woman who walks alone embodies this principle. Her solitude is a conscious choice, a declaration of independence, and a commitment to her own inner growth. She is not abandoned by others. Instead, she chooses the path of self-reliance, understanding that the journey inward is as vital as the journey outward. In the stillness of solitude, she listens not to the noise of the world, but to the whispers of her own soul. It is here, in the absence of distractions, that she discovers her own voice, her own rhythm, and her own truth. This is not a path for the faint-hearted, for it requires her to confront her fears, her doubts, and the insecurities that once held her captive. But rather than succumbing to them, she faces them with courage, learning to transform these shadows into sources of strength. Her walk alone is not about rejecting the company of others, but about understanding that her worth and identity are not tied to external validation. Society often conditions us to believe that our value is determined by our relationships, our roles, and our ability to fit into the molds designed for us. But this woman defies that narrative. She recognizes that true fulfillment cannot be found in the fleeting approval of others. Instead, she seeks a deeper connection to herself, to her dreams, and to the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. Solitude is her canvas, and she paints her life with bold strokes of authenticity. Free from the weight of expectations, she explores her passions, her dreams, and the unique gifts she has to offer the world. Each step she takes alone is an act of creation, a deliberate choice to shape her reality according to her vision. She does not walk this path because it is easy or because she has all the answers. She walks it because she trusts that the journey itself will reveal what she seeks. There is power in choosing solitude, for it teaches resilience and self-sufficiency. The woman who walks alone learns to rely on her own inner resources, cultivating a well of strength that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. She understands that challenges are not obstacles but opportunities to grow, to refine her character, and to become the person she was always meant to be. This journey, though solitary, is far from lonely. It is filled with moments of self-discovery, profound insight, and an unshakable sense of purpose. Her solitude also becomes a source of inspiration for others. In a world that often fears aloneness, she stands as a testament to the beauty and power of walking a path untethered by the expectations of others. Her courage to embrace solitude challenges the status quo, encouraging others to question the narratives that have kept them confined. She does not need to speak loudly or seek attention. Her mere presence, her confidence, and her authenticity speak volumes. Walking alone does not mean she is disconnected from others. In fact, it is through her time in solitude that she cultivates the ability to connect more deeply and authentically with those around her. She enters relationships not out of need, but out of a genuine desire to share her journey and to support others on theirs. Her independence becomes a source of strength, allowing her to love freely without fear of losing herself. In solitude, she finds clarity. The noise of the world fades away, and she can focus on what truly matters. She becomes attuned to her own intuition, trusting it to guide her forward. This clarity empowers her to make decisions that align with her values and her purpose, rather than being swayed by the opinions of others. A woman who walks alone does not do so because she has no other option. She walks alone because she understands that the most profound journeys are those that begin within. Her solitude is a testament to her strength, her courage, and her unwavering belief in her own potential. It is a declaration of her independence, and a reminder that sometimes the most transformative paths are those we walk alone. The woman who walks alone is not confined by the limitations of what her eyes can see. Her true vision reaches far beyond the immediate horizon. She does not simply observe the world as it is, she dreams of what it could be. Her journey is not driven by the constraints of the present moment, but by the infinite possibilities of the future she envisions. This ability to see beyond the tangible is her greatest strength, for it empowers her to create a life not dictated by circumstances, but shaped by her imagination. Her vision is a force of creation, not merely observation. She understands that everything in the world around her was once conceived in someone's mind. The buildings, the art, the music, the great achievements of humanity, all of these were born first as a thought, a spark of possibility in the invisible realm of imagination. This awareness fuels her journey. She does not wait for permission to dream or for external validation to pursue her goals. Instead, she claims the right to imagine boldly and to act on those dreams with conviction. Her vision becomes the blueprint for her life. To envision a future that transcends the present requires courage. It demands that she let go of the familiar and venture into the unknown. The horizon may be distant and obscured, but she trusts in her ability to reach it. This trust is not blind faith, but a deep understanding of the power of belief. She knows that what she holds steadfastly in her mind and nurtures with her actions will eventually manifest in her life. This principle becomes her guiding light, illuminating her path, even when the way forward seems uncertain. Her imagination is not limited by the doubts or fears of others. While many might see obstacles or impossibilities, she sees opportunities and untapped potential. This is because her vision is not constrained by external appearances, it is rooted in her inner conviction. She has learned to close her eyes to the discouragements of the outside world and open them to the endless possibilities within. By doing so, she transforms challenges into stepping stones and setbacks into lessons that propel her forward. Her journey is deeply personal, but its impact is far-reaching. As she walks toward the horizon of her dreams, she inspires others to look beyond their own limitations. She becomes a living example of what is possible when one dares to imagine a better reality and commits to bringing it into existence. Her vision is not just for herself, it ripples outward, touching the lives of those around her and reminding them of their own potential to dream and create. There is a quiet power in her ability to see beyond the present. She is not deterred by the opinions of those who cannot see what she sees. While others may question her path, she moves forward with a steady determination, knowing that her vision does not require validation from anyone but herself. This self-assurance allows her to navigate her journey with grace. Even when the road is lonely or uncertain, she trusts in the process and understands that the most meaningful journeys often require traveling uncharted territory. Her vision is not static, it evolves as she grows. Each step she takes brings her closer to understanding herself and the world around her. As she learns and adapts, her imagination expands, allowing her to dream even bigger dreams. This dynamic process keeps her journey alive and vibrant, filled with new possibilities at every turn. She is never stagnant, for her vision propels her forward, constantly urging her to become more than she was yesterday. The horizon she pursues is not just a destination, it is a symbol of her boundless potential. She understands that the journey itself is as important as the goal. Along the way, she discovers strengths she didn't know she had, overcomes fears she thought insurmountable, and finds joy in the process of creating her life. Her vision becomes a source of hope and inspiration, not only for herself but for everyone who witnesses her journey. A woman who walks alone, guided by her vision, is unstoppable. She does not need a clear map or a paved road, for her imagination creates the way. Each step forward is an affirmation of her belief in the unseen and her commitment to making it real. Her journey reminds us all that the greatest achievements begin with a single spark of vision, a single step toward the horizon, and an unshakable belief in what lies beyond. True power does not come from the world outside, it arises from within. The woman who walks alone understands this fundamental truth. She knows that her inner state shapes her external reality, and that the key to changing her life lies in mastering her thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. She does not seek power in material things, nor does she rely on external circumstances to define her worth. Instead, she builds her inner kingdom, a place of peace, strength, and clarity from which all her actions flow. Her inner world is her sanctuary, a sacred space where she nurtures her dreams and cultivates the qualities that will bring them to life. She understands that the mind is a garden and that what she plants within it will grow. Negativity and doubt are like weeds, threatening to choke her aspirations. She vigilantly removes these weeds, replacing them with seeds of faith, love, and determination. This conscious effort to tend to her inner life is what sets her apart and gives her the power to shape her destiny. In her inner kingdom, she reigns supreme. She takes responsibility for her thoughts and emotions, knowing that they are the architects of her experience. She refuses to blame others or external conditions for her challenges. Instead, she turns inward, seeking the strength and solutions that lie within. This self-reliance does not mean she isolates herself or denies the value of connection with others. Rather, it means that she understands the importance of grounding herself first, so that her relationships and interactions with the world are authentic and empowering. The woman who walks alone is deeply aware of the creative power of her mind. She knows that what she consistently imagines and believes will inevitably manifest in her life. This awareness drives her to focus on what she wants, not on what she fears. She trains her mind to dwell on visions of success, happiness, and fulfillment, refusing to give energy to thoughts of failure or lack. This is not wishful thinking, it is a deliberate practice of aligning her inner state with the reality she seeks to create. Her inner kingdom is not just a place of vision, but also a source of resilience. Life's challenges and adversities cannot shake her, for she draws strength from the unshakable foundation she has built within herself. She understands that external circumstances are fleeting, and that her response to them determines their impact on her life. When faced with difficulties, she retreats to her inner sanctuary, finding clarity and wisdom to navigate the storm. She emerges stronger, more focused, and ready to move forward. This inner strength allows her to remain steadfast in the face of criticism or doubt. She does not seek approval from others, for she is secure in her own sense of worth. She understands that the opinions of others are reflections of their own inner world, not hers. This freedom from external validation gives her the courage to follow her unique path, even when it deviates from the expectations of society or the people around her. She trusts herself, knowing that her inner compass will guide her true. The beauty of her inner kingdom is that it is limitless. As she grows and evolves, so too does her inner world. She continually seeks to expand her understanding of herself and the universe, knowing that there is always more to discover. This openness to growth keeps her journey vibrant and full of possibility. She is never stagnant, for she embraces change as an opportunity to deepen her connection to her inner power and refine the life she is creating. Her inner kingdom is also a source of inspiration for others. By embodying the strength and peace that come from within, she encourages those around her to turn inward and discover their own power. She does not preach or impose her beliefs, her example is enough. Her calm presence, unshakable confidence, and radiant joy speak volumes, showing others what is possible when one cultivates an inner life of purpose and integrity. The woman who walks alone knows that the world outside will mirror her inner state. She does not chase success or happiness, she creates it from within. By aligning her thoughts, feelings, and actions with the highest vision, she becomes the architect of her own life. Her inner kingdom is her greatest treasure, a wellspring of creativity, strength, and peace that sustains her through all of life's ups and downs. In this way, she demonstrates the ultimate truth, that true power lies not in the external world, but in the mastery of oneself. By tending to her inner kingdom, she creates a life of purpose, fulfillment, and endless possibility. Her journey reminds us all that the most profound changes begin within, and that the greatest victories are won not in the world outside, but in the depths of our own hearts. The woman who walks alone is a force of defiance, not through loud proclamations or rebellion for its own sake, but through her quiet refusal to conform to the expectations of the world around her. Her life is a testament to the courage it takes to challenge societal norms and live authentically. She does not seek to fit into the molds that others have designed for her. Instead, she steps outside of them, embracing the freedom to define her own path. In a world that often values conformity over individuality, her choices can appear radical. She does not live to please others or to meet the standards imposed upon her by family, culture, or tradition. This decision is not made out of arrogance or a lack of respect, but out of a deep understanding that to live fully, one must honor their own truth. She recognizes that the greatest disservice she could do to herself and to the world is to suppress her unique voice and potential for the sake of fitting in. Her journey is not without challenges. To walk alone, unshackled by societal norms, is to invite scrutiny, criticism, and even resistance. There are moments when others may question her decisions or misinterpret her independence as selfishness or rebellion. But she does not let these judgments deter her. She knows that those who challenge her path often do so out of fear of what they do not understand, fear of change, and fear of their own unfulfilled desires. Her ability to stand firm in the face of such resistance is a reflection of her inner strength and unshakable belief in her vision. This woman does not reject society or its traditions out of bitterness. Instead, she carefully evaluates which aspects of these norms align with her values and which do not. She takes what resonates with her truth and leaves the rest behind. Her rebellion is not reckless or reactionary, it is intentional and thoughtful. She understands that change begins with the courage to live differently, to challenge the status quo, not through words but through action. By living authentically, she plants seeds of transformation in the minds of those who witness her journey. Her defiance of norms also liberates her from the need for external validation. She does not measure her worth by how well she fits into predefined roles or how closely her life aligns with societal expectations. This freedom allows her to explore her passions, talents, and dreams without constraint. She becomes the architect of her own life, building a reality that reflects her deepest desires and highest aspirations. Her choices are driven not by obligation, but by a genuine connection to her purpose. Walking alone, she often finds herself blazing trails where none existed before. This path requires creativity and resilience. There are no maps, no guarantees, and no clear end in sight. But she embraces the uncertainty, knowing that the act of carving out her own path is what makes her journey meaningful. She learns to trust her intuition, to adapt to challenges, and to find strength in her solitude. In doing so, she becomes a pioneer not just for herself, but for others who may one day follow in her footsteps. Her defiance of societal norms is not an act of isolation but of connection. By daring to live authentically, she inspires others to do the same. She shows those around her that they too have the power to question the rules that no longer serve them, to step outside of limiting beliefs, and to create lives that reflect their truest selves. Her courage becomes a mirror, reflecting back to others their own potential for transformation. This woman understands that to truly make a difference in the world, she must first be true to herself. Her journey is a reminder that change begins on an individual level. By refusing to conform to norms that stifle growth and creativity, she becomes a catalyst for broader societal evolution. Her actions, though personal, have a ripple effect, challenging others to re-examine their own lives and the structures they uphold. The woman who walks alone does not seek to tear down for the sake of destruction. Instead, she seeks to build something new, something that reflects her values, dreams, and unique vision. Her defiance of norms is not an act of rejection, but an act of creation. She shows the world that there is another way to live, one that is rooted in authenticity, freedom, and purpose. Her path is not always easy, but it is deeply fulfilling. Each step she takes away from conformity and toward her own truth strengthens her sense of self and deepens her connection to her purpose. She becomes a living example of what it means to live with integrity and courage. In a world that often seeks to mold individuals into sameness, her journey stands as a bold declaration of the power and beauty of being different. Through her defiance, she reminds us all that the most meaningful lives are those lived on our own terms. The woman who walks alone moves not with the assurance of a clear, visible path, but with the quiet strength of faith in the unseen. Her journey is not guided by what is certain or predictable, but by a deep, unshakable belief in possibilities that have not yet come into view. Each step she takes is a testament to her courage, as she moves forward not because she knows exactly what lies ahead, but because she trusts that her faith will illuminate the way. Her faith is not blind or naive, it is rooted in a profound understanding of the power of belief. She knows that the external world is shaped by the inner one, and that her ability to create the life she desires begins with her ability to see it in her mind and trust in its eventual unfolding. This trust is not passive, it is active and deliberate. It requires her to cultivate patience, resilience, and unwavering focus, even when the road becomes difficult or unclear. To walk by faith means to act before the evidence is visible, to persist in the pursuit of a dream, despite the doubts that may arise. The woman who walks alone embraces this principle wholeheartedly. She does not wait for perfect conditions or guaranteed outcomes before moving forward. Instead, she understands that faith itself is the force that brings her vision to life. Her belief fuels her actions, and her actions, in turn, reinforce her belief. This cycle, becomes the engine of her journey, propelling her toward her dreams, even when obstacles appear insurmountable. Her faith is her compass, guiding her through the unknown with a sense of purpose and direction. While others may hesitate, held back by fear of failure or uncertainty, she moves with quiet determination. This does not mean she is without fear, rather, it means she chooses to act in spite of it. She understands that fear is a natural response to stepping into the unknown, but she refuses to let it dictate her choices. Her faith is stronger than her fear, and it gives her the strength to continue even when the destination seems distant. The woman who walks alone understands that faith is not about denying reality, but about transcending it. She acknowledges the challenges and obstacles in her path, but she does not allow them to define her journey. Instead, she focuses on the possibilities that lie beyond them, trusting that her persistence and belief will eventually overcome any difficulties. This mindset allows her to navigate life with grace, turning setbacks into opportunities for growth and learning. Her faith also teaches her the importance of surrender. She does not cling to rigid expectations or try to control every aspect of her journey. Instead, she allows room for the unexpected, trusting that even detours and delays have a purpose. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of profound strength, for it requires her to release her need for certainty and embrace the flow of life. She trusts that as long as she remains aligned with her vision and acts with integrity, the path will unfold exactly as it is meant to. Her journey, guided by faith, is a source of inspiration to those around her. In a world that often demands proof and guarantees before taking action, she stands as a reminder that some of the greatest achievements begin with a simple belief in what is possible. Her courage to walk forward, even when the way is unclear, challenges others to examine their own fears and doubts. She shows them that faith is not about having all the answers, but about trusting the process and taking the next step. The woman who walks alone also understands that faith is deeply personal. It is not something that can be given or taken away by others, it must be cultivated from within. Her faith is built on her own experiences, her own dreams, and her own understanding of what is possible. This makes it uniquely hers, unshaken by the opinions or skepticism of others. She does not need external validation to believe in her path, for her belief comes from a place of inner conviction. Her faith is a quiet, powerful force that shapes her reality in profound ways. It allows her to dream boldly, act decisively, and persevere through challenges. It gives her the courage to walk alone, trusting that each step she takes is leading her closer to the life she envisions. And in doing so, she becomes a living example of the transformative power of belief, showing others that when we trust in the unseen, we can create the impossible. Who walks alone understands that freedom is not just an external condition, it is a state of mind, a deep and unshakable connection to her own autonomy. Her journey is not one of rebellion for its own sake, but of a deliberate choice to live authentically, guided by her own values, desires, and intuition. In a world that often seeks to impose limitations, expectations, and definitions upon her, she chooses instead to define herself, to set her own standards, and to live life on her own terms. Her freedom begins within. She knows that external freedom from societal rules, traditions, or obligations is meaningless without inner freedom. This inner freedom is the ability to think for herself, to trust her instincts, and to act in alignment with her truth. It is the power to release herself from the fears, doubts, and insecurities that might otherwise hold her back. She takes responsibility for her own happiness and success, knowing that these cannot be dictated or provided by anyone else. To live freely requires courage, for it means stepping away from the comfort of conformity and embracing the uncertainty of the unknown. The woman who walks alone does not fear this uncertainty, she welcomes it as an essential part of her journey. She understands that the freedom to chart her own course comes with risks, but she also knows that the greatest rewards come from embracing those risks. She chooses to see life as an open field of possibility, where each choice she makes becomes a brushstroke in the masterpiece of her own creation. Her freedom is not about rejecting relationships or responsibilities, but about approaching them from a place of authenticity. She chooses to connect with others not out of obligation or dependency, but out of genuine desire. Her independence allows her to love and support others without losing herself in the process. She sets boundaries that honor her needs and respects the boundaries of those around her. This balance makes her relationships richer, more meaningful, and free from the weight of unmet expectations. The woman who walks alone also embraces the freedom to change and grow. She does not confine herself to a single identity or path, knowing that life is a journey of continuous evolution. She is unafraid to leave behind what no longer serves her, whether it be outdated beliefs, toxic relationships, or live fully and authentically. The freedom she embodies is also deeply connected to her creativity, free, unfulfilling pursuits. Her freedom gives her the strength to reinvent herself when necessary, to adapt to new circumstances, and to embrace the endless possibilities that life offers. Her independence is a quiet declaration of her power. She does not need to shout or demand recognition, because her actions speak for themselves. By living authentically and unapologetically, she becomes an example of what it means to be truly free. She shows others that freedom is not about rejecting the world, but about engaging with it on one's own terms. Her life becomes a testament to the beauty and strength that arise when a person claims their right to, from the constraints of what others expect of her. She is able to explore her passions, experiment with new ideas, and express herself in ways that are uniquely her own. Her creativity is not confined by fear of judgment or failure, for she understands that the act of creating is its own reward. Each step she takes, each decision she makes, becomes an expression of her individuality and a celebration of her freedom. Her freedom extends to her mindset. She refuses to be defined by the limitations imposed by society, tradition, or circumstance. While others may see obstacles, she sees opportunities. While others may feel confined by their past, she uses it as a foundation for growth. Her freedom allows her to view life not as a series of constraints, but as an open canvas, waiting for her to bring her vision to life. This freedom also brings her peace. By living true to herself, she is liberated from the constant need for approval or validation. She does not compare herself to others or measure her success by external standards. Instead, she defines success on her own terms, knowing that true fulfillment comes from living a life aligned with her deepest values and desires. Her peace comes from knowing that she is living authentically, guided by her own light. The woman who walks alone is a reminder to all of us that freedom is not given, it is claimed. It is the result of choosing to live in alignment with our truth, even when that truth takes us down paths that others do not understand or approve of. Her journey is a celebration of the human spirit's capacity to break free from limitations, to dream boldly, and to create a life of purpose and joy. Through her example, she inspires others to embrace their own freedom, to walk their own paths, and to live with courage and authenticity. The woman who walks alone is a testament to the strength of individuality, the power of vision, and the beauty of a soul unbound by convention. Her journey, though solitary, is not one of isolation, but of profound self-discovery and purposeful creation. She defies societal norms not with rebellion, but with quiet conviction, carving out a path guided by her own truth. She draws her strength from an inner kingdom that she nurtures with care, trusting her vision and walking by faith, even when the road ahead is unclear. Her freedom is her greatest treasure, freedom to dream, to act, to grow, and to live life on her terms. Her life is a living example of what it means to step boldly into the unknown, to embrace challenges as opportunities, and to transform fear into fuel for growth. She reminds us all that the greatest journeys are not those walked in the shadow of others, but those that emerge from the courage to walk alone. In her independence, she finds her purpose. In her authenticity, she inspires others. And in her unwavering faith, she demonstrates the extraordinary power of believing in the unseen. This woman's journey is not just her own, it is a beacon of hope and possibility for anyone daring enough to break free from the confines of conformity and embrace the boundless potential within. She shows us that the path to fulfillment begins with a single, deliberate step toward the life we imagine. May her story inspire us all to walk with courage, dream without limits, and live authentically, unapologetically, and freely. For in doing so, we honor not only her journey but the infinite potential within ourselves.